Hello, everybody. I'm streaming again here on Twitch and uh, Twitter, Facebook, where else? YouTube, streaming all over right now, all simultaneously. Playing around with Scratch. I'm going to pick up on the game that I started making yesterday and make some modifications to it, update it, and then explore a little bit of the other features of Scratch, like drawing, and seeing what we can do with that. So if you didn't join me yesterday, that's okay. I submitted out a link to how you can see the progress we made on the game we made yesterday. I put it in the comments basically across all the different streams. I hope that worked. But if you go to your web browser, you go to bit.ly/duckscakes, that will take you to the game that I'm working on. So that's the game. I'll show you the game in a bit and show you how it works. And then we'll look at the code, look at how it works, and modify it and play around with it. So thanks so much for joining me. I'll be keeping an eye on the comments a little better this time, I think. It's kind of multitasking in a lot of different directions here. It's a bit new for me. So I'll do my best I can to respond to questions and comments. And if you're watching on Twitch, subscribe, I guess. All right. So let's bring in my screen sharing here. So this is Scratch. Scratch is MIT's web-based drag and drop programming language. This is something anyone can open up and start playing around with immediately. If you just want to go to Scratch's homepage, it's scratch.mit.edu. And this is, I've got open here. What you're seeing is the game that I made yesterday. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the green flag on it, start the game. Okay, the way the game starts is you have 3 GIFs and you pick one of them. And if you get the right gift, you get a cake. If you get the wrong gift, you get a duck. Okay, so it's random. It'll pick one of the presents randomly. I hit green flag again. Let's try again. Let's see if we can get, we got 1 cake. Let's see if we can get another cake. Oh, 2 cakes in a row. Not bad, not bad. Let's see, let's play again. Let's see if we get 3 cakes in a row. The chances of that are kind of low, but all right. My streak is ended. So got the duck the second time. And then as you can see, it reveals where the cake was. Okay. So let's go inside the project. So if you go to the URL that's on the bottom there, bit.ly/duckscakes, you can see this and you can see inside, see how it works and remix it on your own. So I'm going to click that see inside button up here in the upper right so that we can look at the code that makes this work. Might take a second or so while that loads up here. There we go. Okay, so I'll do a quick overview. We built all this out yesterday on the stream, and I'll just kind of walk you through. It may look like a lot. It may look like a ton going on all at once. But again, the tools we're using, the blocks that we're using to create the code are over here. This is where we're grabbing things from. This is where we're actually putting the code down and creating the logic for our game. And then this is the stage where we're seeing things happen. And then the 3 different sprites that we're writing code for are all down here. Okay, cool. So let's look at the first sprite here. I'm going to reset this, hit green flag so that they're back all to GIFs, all this gifts. And then we'll look at the code here real quick. So then when the green flag is clicked, it picks a random number between 1 and 3, and it switches the costume, which is the way that that sprite looks, this little object on the stage looks, switches it to gift B, which is the blue gift. And then we have logic for each of these gifts. In each of them, we have logic for when the sprite is clicked versus when it receives a message. And I'll talk about that message in a second. So when the sprite is clicked, it's going to check the random number that was picked out. And in the case of the first sprite, if it's 1, then it's going to switch the costume to the cake and play the ta-da sound. Otherwise, if it's not 1, it's going to make it a duck and it's going to play the squawk sound. After 2 seconds, it's going to broadcast this message that broadcasts to all the sprites saying, hey, a prize got picked. And then it will, and then all the sprites can reveal themselves so that we can see where the cake was if you didn't click the cake. So, and then every sprite also has its logic when a message is received. And If the message is received, it does the processing saying, okay, if the random number was 1, then we know we should switch to the cake costume. Otherwise, we should switch to the duck costume. Okay, so that gets repeated in each of these. All right. So that the only thing that really changes is that I just opened up gift number 2, the one in the middle, that switches to 2 here. So that if the random number is 2, then we know it's a cake. Otherwise, it's a duck. And same for number 3. If the random number is 3, it switches to a cake. Otherwise, it's a duck. Same when it receives the message. Okay. So we built this yesterday in about a half an hour. And then after I made it, I was pretty happy with it. But I thought of some ideas, some stuff I could do. You know, I was thinking, you know, and this always happens, right? Like you're thinking, oh, you know, I made this great thing. I thought of all these great features. What can I do? What can I build? And so I thought about it and I said, well, wouldn't it be nice if like you could like shake the gift a little bit before it opened, or if you put the mouse over it and it shaked, or after you clicked, it would shake, build up the suspense a little bit before it before you opened it and then opened it. And then the other idea I had is, what if you could kind of have a scoreboard? So let's try to implement those two things as much as we can today. And if we have extra time, we're also going to jump into drawing. Also, it is 7:30 here in San Francisco, and the sun is just starting to blast me. I can see it's like really overexposing me. I don't think I have control of that right now, but we're going to switch back to the screencast anyway. Cool. So let's start off with the shaky gifty thing. So I think it would be neat that after you click on the sprite, it would like shake the gift a little bit for a couple seconds and then open it, just as a way of like building suspense before you find out. Rather than ba-ba, you open the gift, let's shake it for a second. So that's logic that's going to happen when it comes to when the sprite is clicked. So I'm going to switch to the first sprite that we were using by clicking down here. These are all the different sprites, the different objects on the stage. I'm going to click on the first sprite. And what I want to do is make a quick loop where I'm going to change the rotation back and forth of that sprite a few times. So what I'll do is I'm going to go to Control, and I'm going to, let's say, repeat something. Let's say shake back and forth, let's say 4 times. So I'm going to drag this here. I'm going to repeat, right? Oh, not that whole thing. I didn't want to do that. There we go. Okay, great, because I want to repeat something 4 times before I do anything else. Oh, not 40, 4, just 4. Okay, repeat something 4 times. What I want to happen is to shake back and forth, okay? Now, go to Motion. Now we got this turn 15 degrees. I'm gonna turn right 15 degrees, or turn clockwise 15 degrees, turn counterclockwise 15 degrees, okay? Now, the issue is that when a computer executes code, it does it as fast as it possibly can. And I don't think that's what we want in this situation. We actually want it to shake in one direction just for a moment and shake in the other. So we're going to ask our program then to just wait for a moment between each sort of position change. So I'm going to drag this in the control section of our code blocks. I'm going to drag this wait 1 second. I'm going to drag it right there. I'm going to drag one more under there. So shift to one side, wait a second, shift to the other. Now 1 second's probably too slow because we don't want to sit here for what? That's going to be 2 seconds for each loop, 8 seconds before the gift opens. I think that's a little too much suspense. So let's say a quarter of a second. Quarter of a second. Well, let's try that, okay? So when the sprite is clicked, repeat this 4 times. Turn clockwise 15 degrees for a quarter of a second and go back for a quarter of a second. Let's hit play. Let's see if that works. Actually, hey, and I got the cake too, okay? So shake back and forth and then open the gift. That I think actually worked pretty well. Maybe it's a little slow. So that shaking back and forth is a little slow. It's the wait time that we're gonna need to adjust in order to fix that. So let me try 1/10 of a second. I feel like that's going to be too fast, but let's try it. Hit green flag. That was okay. That was okay. Let's split the difference a bit. Let's go to 0.2. 0.2. Try one more time. And I got the cake twice in a row. That's awesome. There, of course, my streak has gotten broken. I don't think I've gotten a three cake streak yet. Okay, so 0.2 seconds seems about right. Now, what I want to do is I've only put that onto the first sprite, that first gift on the stage. What I'm going to need to do is add that code to the others as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see, let's duplicate. What happens when we duplicate this? Now it's going to duplicate everything. So I'm going to drag that duplicated stuff just down here. And what I'm going to do is get rid of this, delete that, delete that, delete that. If it doesn't matter if you delete this or not, like if this is just hanging out down here by itself, it's never going to execute. It's not going to do anything. But this is just me wanting to be like tidy. You know, I don't want extra stuff that's going to confuse me. So I got rid of that. This is the part that we want to add to each of the other gifts, right? So let's just take it. You don't need to duplicate it again. Just drag it and you'll see that the gift will kind of shuffle there. And then we'll do it over here too. There we go. So now it only dragged it in. We need to get it in the right spot. I'm going to get rid of this now because we took a duplicate and dragged that away. So why don't we get rid of this? Again, just keeping things tidy. You don't need to do this. It's gone. Okay, so then the duplicated part, I've got it here. Let's insert it right there. And then go into the third gift. Drop it right there. Okay, great. So now in each of the three gifts, we have that little bit of motion. So let's hit play again. Let's just try the middle gift. I got the cake. Let's try again. Oh, which one do we think it is? I'm going to go with the left one. Ah, duck. But we see that the gift shaking works. All right, cake. Should I try? Oh, 2 cakes in a row. 2 cakes in a row. Let's see. Can we get that 3 cake streak? No, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to get 3 cakes in a row. Someone out there maybe can figure out what all the odds are of getting 3 cakes in a row, because it's totally random. And then if you were coding with me yesterday, you knew that there was a way we built so that we could cheat, so that while we were testing the program, we could just know which cake it was, just so that we were testing. And then we got rid of that while we played the game. So, okay, so let's see. I had mentioned also another feature I thought would be fun to implement would be to add like a score to count how many ducks and how many cakes you got. To do that, we're going to use a variable. So I'm going to go to variables here. Now, a variable, I talked about this yesterday as well. A variable is on the computer, it's just a spot in memory where you're storing some piece of data. It could be number, it could be a letter, it could be a word, it could be 1,000 words, it could be a lot of different things. In this case, we're going to use the spot in memory to store a number. And it's like a little locker that we can store numbers in, store data in, and we can store a number and we can pull that number out and say, like, you know, if I put the number 3 in, anything else can go and check that locker and say, oh, I've got the number 3. And that's the way we're going to do this. So the variable is just, again, a spot in memory. Okay, so I'm going to call the variable, I'm going to give it a name. You can name it whatever you want, but it's really good to name it something that, you know, is meaningful to you, or something that you'll understand, or maybe someone else will understand if they're using your code. So I'm going to say cakes. It's going to and I'm going to say for all sprites, just leave that alone. And then I'm going to say make another variable called ducks. So cakes and ducks, you'll see that they get added over here in the palette, and you'll see there's checkboxes there. Those checkboxes control whether they are viewable over here on the stage in the corner here. So ducks and cakes. What we're going to do, and so you can see this, like my random was the number we were picking. Like we picked a random number in the beginning. If I check that off, you're able to see, I'll drag that over here. This was the way we were able to debug and check and basically cheat in this game so that we could always pick the cake. So let's switch that off. We're going to keep cakes and ducks to 0. Now, what we need to do is in the case where a cake is picked, we need to add 1 to this variable here. In the case where a duck is picked, we need to add 1 to the variable there. So in each sprite, what we need to do is to say, we need to say where that check is happening, whether it's a cake or a duck, we need to add that in so that it'll change and it'll update that. So I'm going to do that in this spot here. Okay, so I'm going to do this here. So set is the way we're going to update. And wait, there's change. Oh, change by. Oh, change by would actually be handy. I wasn't going to do it this way because I was going to set and then add the number. But if we change by, it's going to increment it already. I like that. That's a better way to do this. So if we drag this, change cakes by 1, boom, and then change ducks by 1. Okay. So if my random is 1, that means if we got the gift right and it's the cake gift, then switch costume to the cake, change cakes by 1, that's increment it by 1, take whatever it is, add 1 to it, play ta-da. Otherwise, add ducks to 1. Now, this code has only been added to the first sprite. So I'm just going to test it first on the first sprite and choose that gift, the first gift, over and over and over again. And then if that works, if I feel like that works, we'll implement that across the other ones. It's not going to work perfectly, I know, but I'll show you in a second what I mean. So watch. Shake, shake, shake. Got the cake. Now you look up here on your scoreboard, you got 1 cake. Okay, let's roll again. Got a duck. So 1 cake, 1 duck. 2 cakes, 1 duck. 3 cakes, 1 duck. Let's see if we get that 3 cake streak going here. Oh, okay. So 3 cakes, 2 ducks. So you see that that's changing. Now it does not affect these because we haven't added the code to that yet. But I want to show you something that's happening. It's probably a little funny that you would not want to happen in your game. If I click here again, ducks just went up again. If I click here again, it went up again. So what we need to do is figure out how we can make sure it only changes in the case where the game is done. So let's hit green flag. I think we just need a little extra condition here. And I'm not sure how I'm going to do this off the top of my head, but let's see if we can figure it out. It would be like an if statement. So if something is true, then change it. So that's what I need here. Now, what conditions are changing? I think the costumes. Can I see what the costume is of the particular, let's see, looks. Oh no, so looks is where I want to be. Let's see. Costume. Okay, costume, number, name. Okay, I see. Okay, I know what I'm going to do. Okay, so what I'll do is I can use some operators. This is going to get a little advanced, but this is comparing. I'm going to compare the costume. So if apple contains A, then yes. So in this case, it's saying if apple, the word apple contains the letter A, then do this. In this case, it would, but we're going to replace these with the costume name. So cake is the costume I want to check for, or duck. How am I going to do that? Oh, no, yeah, it is not gift. Basically, we just want to know if it's not gift. So it's if it does not contain. Oh, this is going to get funny. How are we going to do that? Is not. Okay. Contains not. Not. Okay. So essentially, we want to say, is it not a gift? And so I'm going to drag that in there, I think. I'm trying this out for the first time now. We'll see if this works. Hey, if it doesn't work, we'll call it a day. So if, and then we want to go to looks. If there's any Scratch experts watching, let me know if you think I'm doing this right. If costume number contains gift. So if we want to go and look at the costume here, Costume is gift A, gift B. We just want to make sure it's not gift A or gift B. So if costume contains gift, make sure I got that right. Okay. If costume name contains gift, then, if costume name contains gift, if that's not the case, then do this. Okay, it's a little confusing, and I'm sure there's a more elegant way to do this, but let's just at least give this a try. And if this were, oops, I only want to take, let's just take this, take that, drag that there. Let's drag that inside there. And then actually I'm going to duplicate this now. And then change this to ducks, and then I can, all right, we're getting a little hairy here. Let's get rid of that. Oh no, I don't want to delete that. I want that still in here. I want to delete this one. Okay. Let's drop that in to each of these. Okay. I don't know that this is going to work. And if it does work, I'll be very, very happy, and we'll talk it through a little bit more. Okay. And then we can implement it on the other ones. Okay. So hit the green flag. All right, I got the duck. Ducks is at 5. Now, what we want to happen is if I click the duck again, it does not go up again. Oh, it did go up. If costume name contains gift, then but that's not the case. You know, this might take a little playing around with it. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to figure it out immediately. Oh, it's because costume name should have switched to duck. And if it's not gift, then it shouldn't implement. Oh, but it's always, you know what? I'm not sure exactly why that is, but you know what? I don't want to dig into it too much right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that away. I'm going to bring this back. We're going to let people cheat for now. Like that. I'm going to just get rid of that and get rid of that. And leave it like this for now. Okay. So if you just have to rely on people not to cheat so that you can get those counters working, and you know, you're only cheating yourself anyway. So, cool. So we implemented at least the shaky gifty thing, and we got a little mini scoreboard that you can cheat, but don't tell anybody. And maybe what we'll do is next time we do this, and I don't know, maybe I'll do this again next weekend, we can figure out how to implement it so that it only increments the scores when there's a right answer or wrong answer. One thing I'm thinking is that maybe we could like broadcast like correct or incorrect, and then we can have a separate thing that'll increment the counters. That actually would work. All right, cool. So we only have a little bit of time left. What I wanted to do was is show you one more thing in Scratch. So again, like if you messed around with this, you played this, you can save it and share it. It's all here. If you have an account, it just saves online. And then you can also download it onto your computer if you want to use Scratch offline. So I'm going to do a new Scratch project. One thing, we have a little bit of time left here. Wanted to show a fun thing that you can jump into. So this is what it looks like when you have a blank Scratch project. This is where we started yesterday at the beginning of the session. So if I go to add extension, what I want to do is I want to show you the pen extension. So what the pen will do is it'll let you draw on the stage. And I think this is a fun way to play around and learn about how to like create with computers. So when I was a kid, I learned how to program really early on because there was something called Turtle and Go and Logo, which was a programming language called Logo, and it was all about just telling a turtle where to move on screen. And I learned a lot that way about how computers work. And so this is sort of a version of that using Scratch by being able to draw on your screen. So let's just jump in. I'm going to show you real quickly. So when green flag is clicked, we're going to do something when the green flag is clicked. All the pen tools are down here, which was, you can erase everything. So why don't actually we start every time we hit the green flag, we're going to erase everything on the stage. Pen pen up and pen down. Pen down is like you actually have physically a pen, you put it down on a paper, pen up lifts the pen up off the paper. So you can have the pen move around, like just like you can with a pen in your hand. It could be down on the ground, draw, 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 lift up, move around. Same concept here. Color, pen, pen size, and everything. Okay, so let's say erase in the beginning, and then what we want is something to happen forever, just to kind of play around with this. So erase everything forever. Let's go back to the pen, and actually we want the pen to go down. And what's going to happen is the pen is actually, I'll just show you really quickly without the forever first. If I just do motion and then move scratch cat, pen down, move scratch cat 100 steps, that's the sprite we're playing around. Oh, I'm sorry, am I in the right? I'm in the background. I'm not seeing my shadow there. What am I doing wrong here? You tell me. No, I guess it is right. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so I hit the green flag, it erases everything, puts the pen down, and moves 100 steps to the right. And there we go. So that's the scratch cat doing that. Do it again. It erased everything, put the pen down, moved 100 steps. Okay, I'm going to drag it back like that. Okay. So if I were to do something like this, if I were to say forever rotate 15 degrees, move 10 steps, oops, move 10 steps, rotate 15 degrees. Let's see what that looks like. Get a little circle. See? Cool. Now, let's say what I want to do, let's move to a random position, then turn and then move. What's this? Oh, geez, look at that. That's actually pretty cool. I'm into that. So we're making random artwork here. So forever, he's going to do that forever until our battery runs out on our computer or we shut off our computer. Let's, you know what we could do? We can actually just take this away. Delete these, delete this, and we could just have scratch cat go into random positions. Here we go, same effect basically. Now I'm curious, let's try something. Looks, can we hide the cat? I wonder if it'll still draw if we hide. Yes, okay. So you don't need to see the cat bouncing around, but we're still making this drawing here. Now, wouldn't it be cool if we were able to affect more of this? Let's try that. Let's pen. I noticed that you can set the pen color differently. Now, we could, if we wanted to, set the pen color here, and then that would change our little bit of artwork here. You can see. But what if we set the pen color randomly? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of that. Sorry, get rid of that. Delete block. Connect that back again. Set the pen color to. I'm going to choose a number. Now, I looked up before this how this number works. So the numbers are basically anything from 0 to 99, I think. So 0 to 99. I think it'll just max out. So you can see I've changed the color to like red. Stop. Let's reboot and just see. Let's restart this and see. Like if I do 800, I bet you it's not gonna. It's just gonna be that. I bet you that's the same if I do 500 because it's gonna max out. I think it maxes out at 99. Yeah. Okay. So it's 0 to 99. Now we know how to choose a random number because we did that already. So that's pick a random. So pick a random number from 1 to 99. Oh, not 990. Okay. So going to happen, you're going to start your scratch program, you're going to put the pen down, you're going to hide the cat, and then forever you're going to go to a random position, set the pen color, go to a new random position, set a new pen color, and the pen color is always going to be a random color somewhere on the rainbow. Let's see how that looks. Yeah. Nice. Okay. Starting to look like something. Now, what's going to happen is, again, this will just keep going, and then this whole thing will get totally filled up, and it just will start layering color on top of color on top of color on top of color. So why don't we set up, let's say, another sprite to move around and maybe like make erase marks all over it so that it'll keep, actually, I think that would be cool. So let's just try that. You know what I'll duplicate this sprite, hit stop so that that is not distracting us. Just duplicate this one because we'll use a lot of the same code. Duplicate, okay. Erase all, hide. And what I want to do is I'm going to go back to my pen blocks. I'm going to set pen color here because it's always going to be the same. Let's make it, let me make it white. Just, here we go. Go, set pen color white. Cool. Go to a random position, and then we don't need this anymore. So let's delete these blocks. Okay. So now we'll have two pens moving around. One's doing random colors, and one is like acting like an eraser. Let's see what that looks like. Interesting. Yeah. I'm not sure how well you're seeing this, but yeah, you can see there's it's not filling up as fast, and then the white is like crisscrossing over all the different things. This is looking more like Jackson Pollock than it was before. Let's see, not quite looking that great. So I want to try one more thing, which is to set the pen size, change the pen size by, or set the pen size to, let's make the pen bigger on the eraser. So we have a bigger eraser moving over everything. Let's set it to 10, and then we'll restart the whole artwork. Ooh, yeah, there we go. This feels much more like kinetic. So the eraser is much bigger. It's 10 times the size of a line versus the lines, which is just 1 pixel wide, one little bit wide, but the eraser is 10 times wider. So this feels like it's erasing much more than it's putting down, but it actually feels like it's very, very, I don't know, it feels very like intentional. So anyway, that's a little bit of what you can do with the pen tool. With loops and everything and conditions, you can have it draw flowers. There's tons of stuff that you can do with the pen tool, and it's really great for learning about you know, how programs work and how computational thinking happens. It's really, really fun. So I do recommend checking that out. Anyway, so I wanted to show you that little bit on the end about how to use the pen module for Scratch. I hope you enjoyed this stream. If you're watching on Twitch, please subscribe, or if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe. Thanks for coming around, and maybe I'll do this again next weekend. We'll see. Anyway, have a great Sunday, and I hope I'll see you again. Bye.